Hello, everyone. My name is the Billionaire Idealist. Yes, I am the Billionaire Idealist. And I just want to talk about a few things. I want to discuss a few things, and I'm going to be asking some questions. I'm going to bring up some topics, and we're just going to have an open discussion. There is no right or wrong answers here. We're just having an open discussion. We're just talking about a variety of different topics and just trying to gain a better understanding of the world around us and things going on around us. And I also want to say I'm not a teacher. I'm not a certified teacher. I'm not a life coach. And most importantly, I want to share with you is that do not believe anything I'm telling you. I want you to find out for yourself. I want you to do your own homework, your own research, do your own studies, become your own scientist, and find out things for yourself. I don't want you to believe anything I'm telling you because I want you to go and experience it for yourself. I want you to see it for yourself. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into this. Again, I am the Billionaire Idealist, and we are having an open discussion, just talking about different things, having fun and laughing, and just, it is what it is, all right? Okay. So I understand that everybody talks about being positive. Yeah, let's be positive. Let's do the right things. Let's follow our dreams and do good things and have a good heart and be good people, and live the life that we desire. And that's good. But one thing I notice that a lot of people don't seem to talk about. Actually, one thing I do notice that most people don't talk about, at least not openly, is they don't talk about extraordinary abilities. Extraordinary abilities like telekinesis, telepathy, levitation, teleportation, shape-shifting, extreme strength, incredible speed, heightened senses, things like that, things of that nature. I don't really see people talking about that. No one is having open discussions about these wonderful abilities that we all have. And the conclusion that I have come to realize is that people aren't talking about these things because they believe it's impossible. That's why people don't talk about it. If you notice, people seem to relate to or they seem to have a better understanding of things that they can actually do or things that are possible, things that are, I guess, within human grasp that can actually be done. So people more so gravitate towards those type of things opposed to talking about things that maybe to the average person may seem impossible. But to be honest with you, nothing here is impossible. On this third dimensional plane of existence that we call Earth, nothing is impossible here. Nothing. And so, like I said, the reason these subjects or these things are not talked about is because, for the most part, people think that these things are impossible. We can't do those things. That is only something that you see in a Marvel comic movie, performed by Marvel comic characters. Special effects and trick cameras and makeup and things of that nature. So, like I said, the average person, they think that these things are impossible. So they feel like, why talk about it if it's impossible? Why talk about something that we know we can't do? Why even waste energy on talking about something I know I can't do? I know I can't do it, so I'm not going to even talk about it. I'm just going to leave it the way it is. It is what it is. And that's wrong. You actually should be talking about these things. You should be talking about these things. These things are actually good things to talk about because it enables you to expand your awareness, to expand your consciousness. It enables you to see what you can really do. It enables you to train and work towards a particular outcome or a goal. Work towards it. Like the example that I gave before about the bodybuilder and the person, trying to perform telekinesis. There is no difference because the bodybuilder has a goal, and the person doing telekinesis has a goal. And the more you train, the better you get. And the better you get, it becomes second nature. And so the bodybuilder is training his body. The person doing telekinesis, they're training their mind. And the mind is the most important thing that you want to actually train. You want to know thyself, because if you know thyself, you know everything and everyone around you. Because we are all one. We've come from one source. Everything is energy, vibration, and frequency. So, like I said, nobody is talking about these powerful subjects, and I'm just curious to know why. But actually, I've answered my own question. That is why. People don't talk about it because they think it's impossible. And when you think about it, who said that telekinesis, teleporting, shape-shifting, telepathic abilities, and countless others, who said these powers were impossible? They're not impossible. But nobody's taking the time to practice and to train. Nobody. Well, actually there is, but very, very, very few. Very few people actually take the time and the effort to train and to learn these abilities, because we actually already have these abilities within us. They're already there. It's just a matter of activating them, turning them on. And how do you do that? You train, you learn, you work towards. That's all it is. Nothing is impossible. I know a lot of you see these powers and you're like, wow, yeah, that would be nice. That would be awesome if we can do that. Imagine being able to teleport from one location to another at the speed of light, or being able to move any object just by thinking about it, or being able to read a person's thoughts, or I should say, read a person's energy. Imagine being able to do that, or shapeshift, or have extreme strength, or have incredible speed, or even heightened senses. Imagine if you could do these things, literally becoming your own superhero and doing these miraculous things. And to be honest with you, these abilities are not supernatural, as my big brother Captain Universe once shared with me. These are actually natural abilities. They only seem supernatural, they only seem miraculous because you're not on the frequency to actually witness these things being done. So if you were to be on the frequency and you were to see these things, you'd be like, wow, that's awesome. It must be nice that they can do that. I wonder how they're doing now. I wish I could do that. You can. You can. People only see these things done in movies. And for some of us, for very few of us, we have seen certain people do it, maybe on accident, or maybe they did do it on purpose. Maybe they do have these learned abilities. But the one important thing to always understand about telekinesis and telepathy, heightened senses, shape-shifting, all of these abilities, one important thing that we must all realize is that it's not impossible, and that these abilities already exist within us. It is just a matter of training, retraining, relearning these abilities, reteaching yourself how to do these things. Because if you wanted to exercise, if you wanted to become a bodybuilder, if you wanted to become healthy and be stronger, if you wanted your body to be built a certain way, then what would you do? You would train. You would exercise. You would train and exercise your body to get the desired outcome. Am I right? Same principle applies for these abilities. What would you do? You would train, you would exercise your mind to get the desired outcome. Am I right? Okay. So telekinesis and all these extraordinary abilities, they're not impossible. Nothing here is impossible. Nothing. I just want people to expand your mind, even just a little bit. Open your mind just a little bit. Consider other possibilities. Don't convert. Don't believe what I'm telling you. Find out for yourself. Be a scientist. Go experiment. Go try out. Go research. Go study. Go see for yourself. Find out. And then come to your own conclusions. Have your own experiences. See the magic for yourself. But another key thing to understand about, whether you're training your body or training your mind is that you want to be taking steps every single day, not every other day, every single day. You want to be obsessed with your goal. You want to be obsessed with your desire, with your dream, with your outcome. You must become the very thing that you're reaching for. You hear that? You must become the very thing that you're actually reaching for. You have to become that. Don't wait for anything. Be that now. You must be obsessed with the very thing that you want. And when you become obsessed, you find that every single day you spend time working towards that particular outcome. Every day you spend time working towards that particular outcome, whether it be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, their entire day, whatever it takes. But spend time every single day working toward the very thing that you want. Become obsessed with it. Become obsessed with it. You have to want it more than you want anything else. That's how you do it. That is how you perform, quote unquote, these supernatural or these miraculous things, is you become obsessed with it. You actually become the very thing that you're reaching for, because nothing here is impossible. A person that's overweight, if they want to lose weight, they have to start eating the right way, because diets don't work. Let me say that now. Before I go any further, let me just say that now. Diets do not work. Diets don't work. Exercising, being healthy, that is a lifestyle. If you want your body to be a certain way, if you want to be healthy, strong, physically and mentally capable, that is a lifestyle. That is not something you just turn off and on like a light switch. If you want these results, you must become obsessed with them. It must become you. It has to be your lifestyle. It has to become second nature. So telekinesis and other extraordinary abilities, it's not impossible. It is not just something you see on a Marvel comic movie or something you see on TV. It can be done. People have done it. People are currently doing it right now as I speak. Nothing is impossible. Absolutely nothing. You can do anything you want here. And so, again, just, expand your mind. Open your mind just a little bit, even 1%. Open your mind and consider other possibilities. Please do not be so quick to shut everything else out. Don't be so quick to shut things down. If someone has said something to you that you disagree with, if you have experienced something that you disagree with, don't be so quick to shut it down or to eliminate it. Think about it. Even if you don't like it, be like, you know what? I don't necessarily agree with that, but you know what? That does sound interesting. I'm curious about that. I'm wondering about that. You know what? Let me do some research on that. Let me go do some more study on that, and I'll get back to you. And I'll tell you what my conclusion was. I'll tell you what my experience was. People should do that, and they don't. It's like religion. And we all know about religion. And I'm not saying religion is bad. Please do not misinterpret my words or my actions here. I am not bashing religion. Religion is not a bad thing. Religion is actually not bad. My big brother shared with me something very, very important. And it makes sense. He said, it's not the religion that's bad. It's the people who participate in it that make it bad. Because religion is a good thing. It can be a good thing. But if you have bad intentions and you are utilizing religion for your bad intentions, then yes, that particular person or that particular group has made religion bad. But is religion bad as a whole? No. It is what it is. It's just religion. Just like people would say, and the same thing my brother said, Captain Universe, he said, is the person bad or is the gun bad? The gun is not bad because I can use a gun to save my life or to protect someone else. Or I can use that same gun and shoot somebody in cold blood and not feel anything. So it's not the gun that's bad, it's the person utilizing the gun. It's how you use the gun. Same thing with religion. It's how you use the religion that determines whether it's going to be bad or if it's going to be good. So think about that. Open up your mind. Religion is not bad. It's the people with bad intentions that make religion bad. But is religion bad as a whole? No, it is not. Absolutely not. Just like people say we need gun control. Why do we need gun control? We don't need gun control. It's the people using the guns. It's how they're using the guns. Because if you have guns there and nobody uses them, then they just sit there. Or if you have good intentions for the guns, then you won't need gun control because the gun has a good intention, or the person utilizing the gun has a good intention. They're protecting themselves or their family or their country or whatever the case may be. So it's not the guns that are bad, it's the people using the guns. Really think about that. Before I go on, I want you to really sit back and think about what I just said. Guns are not bad. Because if a woman was walking down the street, it was dark outside, and she was walking down a dark street in a bad neighborhood, and she was attacked, and just so happened she had a gun in her purse to protect herself, was the gun bad? Was the woman bad? Would you still say we need gun control? The woman was being attacked, walking down a dark street in a bad neighborhood, and instead of being raped, she protected herself. She pulled out a gun and she shot the people trying to attack her. So is the gun bad or is the lady bad? Or was it how she used the gun that made it okay? Do you understand now? So moving on. Anyway, I want to talk about, magical experiences. And what do I mean when I say magical experiences? Well, I can't speak for everyone because we all have our own different and very unique magical experiences. So I'll share the experiences that I've had. For me, magical experiences are like seeing 555, 111, 333, 222, 7 or 27 or 777 or 7, seeing these numbers, or having a very subtle thought about something that I wanted. And then right before my eyes, it just happens. Magical moments, things happening that there's no way that I could ever explain how it happened. It just happened. Magical moments, things like that. And we have all had those magical moments, whether we choose to, decide that we have or we haven't. We all have had magical moments, whether we realize it or not. So, magical moments, which brings me back to nothing is impossible. And let me say this. Most people are afraid to take a risk. Did you hear that? Most people are afraid to take a risk because they feel like they have so much to lose by taking a risk. Think about that. Most people are afraid to take a risk because they fear that they have so much to lose. Well, what do you have to lose? What do you have to lose that you don't already have or don't have? And if you don't have anything, then what are you afraid of losing? And even for those who may think or even claim that they have a lot to lose, well, in all actuality, you don't have anything, because as quick as you gain is as quick as you can lose. So it is better to take a risk. And to be honest with you, to be completely honest with you, that is how risk takers is how multimillionaires are created, multi-billionaires are created, successful entrepreneurs are created because they take a risk. Because their perspective is different from a person who won't take a risk. The risk takers see opportunity everywhere. The risk taker sees opportunity everywhere and takes full advantage of it. There is no such thing as something being off limits to them, or I can't do this and I can't do that, or I can do anything. That's the powerful thing about a risk taker, is that they just jump out there because they see it like this. I ain't got nothing to lose. Why not? Even if I do have a lot, I still ain't got nothing to lose. Why not? Let me just try just to see what happens. And like I said, when you have a perspective like that, you become that successful entrepreneur. You become that multi-millionaire. You become that multi-billionaire. You become that highly successful person. You gain your success or your wealth because you're not afraid to take a risk. You're not afraid to jump out there. And what is a risk taker? What is a risk taker? To keep it as simple as possible, a risk taker is a person who's not afraid to step away from their comfort zone, to step out of that safety box. They get out, they just jump out. They be like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's do it. What I got to lose? Let's do it. And that is the definition, the real definition of a risk taker. They're not afraid to jump out there. They step out of their comfort zone. They get out of that little safety box. They venture out. They seize the moment. They take advantage of it. They're like, yeah, you know, what I got to lose. And for the most part, they want something and they're not afraid to go after it. And I'm finding that that is what's wrong with a lot of humanity, people. They want something, but they don't want to go after it. And then they complain that they're living in poverty. They complain, well, I don't have this and I don't have that. How come this is not happening? How come that is not happening? Because you're not jumping out there. You're not taking a risk. You claim that you want something, but obviously you don't want it bad enough. And that is a question only to ask yourself. If you want something, okay, well, how bad do you really want it? Yeah, we all want something. But the famous question, the $1 million question is, how bad do you want it? We all want something. But how bad do you want it? What are you willing to do to get it? What are you willing to do to get the very thing that you want? What are you willing to do? Are you willing to step out of your comfort zone? Are you willing to step away from that safety box? What are you willing to do to get the very thing that you want? What are you willing to do? You want something? $1 million question. How bad do you want it? And like I said, people want things, but they don't go after it. Fear takes place. And all these situations and these excuses come up. Well, I can't do this. Well, what if this? How come this? Well, this might happen or that might happen. They may say this. They may say that. Who the fuck cares? Who cares? And that is what separates, listen to me now, listen very carefully. And that is what separates the successful man opposed to the poverty man. Because they're not afraid to take a risk. They're not afraid to jump out there. In fact, they actually want to know what's out there. So they get out there. They be like, what's out there? Let me see what's out there. They go exploring. They go and have hands-on experiences. And you have to be that way. You got to get out there. Step away from that comfort zone. If you want something, how bad do you want it? What are you willing to do to get it? So I don't want to hear people complain about, well, my life is this way and my life is that way, and I never have this and I never have that, and how come this is not happening? How come that is not happening? Why this and why that? Well, obviously you didn't want it bad enough. If you have those excuses, if you have those complaints, then obviously the very thing that you wanted, you obviously didn't want it bad enough. Because if you wanted it as bad as you think you did, you wouldn't be making excuses. There wouldn't be any room for excuses. You wouldn't have time to complain. You wouldn't have time to see negative, because you would be too busy being out there, getting it, working towards it, experiencing it, having those magical moments. So until you can honestly answer that $1 million question, how bad do you want it and what are you willing to do? Don't complain. That's what I would say to you. That's what the successful businessman or entrepreneur would say to you. That's what the multimillionaire would say to you. That's what the multi-billionaire would say to you. Until you are willing to step out of that safety zone, out of that comfort box, then don't complain. Because if you want something, you go after it. And how bad do you want it? Because if you want something and yet you never do anything about it, then you didn't want it as bad as you thought you did. And you didn't put enough emphasis on the very thing that you want. So you are basically allowing excuses and complaints and circumstances and situations to be bigger than the very thing that you want. And that's why you don't have it. Let me say that again. You are allowing excuses, circumstances, situations, and complaints to be bigger than the very thing that you want, and that's why you don't have it. Instead of being like, fuck this, it don't matter, I'm going after it. I don't care what nobody says, I don't care what they think, I don't care what happens, I don't even care what happens to me, I'm going after it. By all means necessary, I'm gonna make this shit happen, I'm gonna do it. Well, but if you never adopt that particular perspective, you'll never have anything. So I guess you'll still be complaining and making excuses. But anyway, so, you can create your own magical experiences. You can create your own magical experiences. So, you can create your own magical experiences depending upon your perspective, having magical experiences. And I would tell people, while you're living in this existence, don't ever try to do anything. Just let things happen. Just do it. Don't try to do anything. Just do it. Don't force anything. Just let it happen. Let it naturally happen. One of the main things that I hear a lot of people say is that, well, why is it taking so long? How come I have to wait so long? Well, how long will it take? Well, time is an illusion. Because when you're busy doing the very thing that you love, when you're busy being obsessed, what you notice is that, first of all, time doesn't even matter, it doesn't exist. Because you are enjoying the journey. You are enjoying the magical moments along the way. You're not thinking about time. You don't need to think about time and how long and when and how. You're too busy enjoying the journey, having the experiences, having the magical experiences. So don't try to do anything. Don't force anything. Let it naturally happen. Because everything happens in divine timing. So, moving on from that. And now another thing I want to get into is I want to talk about, and I hear a lot of guys say this, and disclaimer, before I start talking about that, let me say this. I'm not being funny, and I'm not putting you down, I'm not insulting you. I'm not saying that you're wrong and this is right. No. This is just an open discussion. I'm just sharing my own view, my own input, my own experience, my own research. And I'm just sharing my own information, my own studies with you. And you can either take it or you can leave it. You can say, Dave, that's not a bad idea. Or you can say, Dave, dude, shut up, dude. You don't know what you're talking about, man, shut up. It's up to you. You decide. But let me talk a little bit about beast mode versus the machine. Now, like I said, I hear so many guys talk about beast mode. Oh, I'm in beast mode. I'm going in beast mode. I'm going in beast mode. And that's cool. Nothing wrong with that. They even have, I think, shirts and, other different clothing attire with beast mode. And that's fine. That's all good. But this is where I want you to have an open mind. Now's the time at this moment to have an open mind, to consider other possibilities. Now, you have a beast. Now I give them that. They're strong, they're big. They can do a lot of things. But at the same time, they do have a weakness. And they have, in my opinion, they have a particular weakness. They have a compromising weakness, in my opinion. A beast has a compromising weakness. Now, beast mode, for the most part, from what I understand, is, hey, being focused, being determined, becoming that monster, if you will, just getting it like, yeah, I'm in there, I'm in the zone, right? That's my understanding of it. And that's cool. But along with that beast mode, but I guess it also depends on the state of mind of the person and the definition they're using to attach to the word beast mode. Beast mode, you still have, you take a beast, an animal that bleeds. Now, the bleeding part is very compromising because you bleed. And if you are applying the beast mode perspective to your lifestyle, that's fine. But the beast has a limitation. It has a compromising limitation opposed to the machine. See, now the beast, like I said, because you bleed, that's compromising. That's devastating. That's one of those like, you know what? Yeah, you a beast, you strong, you fast, you big, but, it may, like, I may have to shoot you a couple of times before you stop, but eventually you will, because you bleed, you're injured. I've made you fatigued, I've made you tired, I've injured you, I've temporarily stopped you, And when I say temporarily stopped you, I mean, I've imposed something upon you that you have to actually tend to. You can't just go on without taking care of it. That is what I call a compromising element on the beast. You bleed. That's a flaw. Now with the machine, with me, when I work out, I don't go into beast mode. I put my machine online. Now think about that. Man. Think about that. I put my machine online, like the Terminator. How the Terminator went online, the machines went online and took over humanity? Now that's the type of strength I'm talking about. That's the type of focus that I'm talking about. I don't go into beast mode. I put my machine online because you can shoot the machine multiple times, and they will not bleed. They will not stop. With the machine, I can program my machine to do whatever I want it to do without an ego, without compromise. Because the beast, you still bleed. You still have ego. You still have compromising elements that can be very detrimental to you. But with the machine, there is no ego. There aren't many compromises. The machine is programmed to do one thing and one thing only, and that is to execute their mission by all means necessary. And if they are shot multiple times, stabbed multiple times, beaten or hit with something, they keep coming. Let me say this. Can a beast be shot multiple times in the face, the heart, chest, back, and still be at its fullest potential? Yeah, you may still be able to you may be still up walking and still coming at me, but you're injured. You may slow down a little bit, but damn, okay, hold on, I'm bleeding. That's affecting me. That's hurting me. You feel pain. You see that? The beast still feels pain. Regardless of his strength and his size, the beast still feels pain and still bleeds. But your machine, well, your machine does not bleed. Your machine does not feel any pain. So it does not matter what you do to the machine. It's going to keep coming and keep coming and keep coming until that mission is fulfilled, until that goal is done, until that mission is executed. It keeps coming because the machine does not bleed. It does not compromise. There is no ego. It does not feel pain. So when I say I'm putting my machine back online, that is something to pay attention to. So, beast mode versus machine. Which one would you rather be? A beast that has compromising elements? Or you know what? A beast that has elements that could, it's life-threatening. It's something that you want to pay attention to. You know what? I'm a beast. I'm big. I'm strong. I'm fast. But, if I was to get shot multiple times, or, if I was to get hit in the wrong area of my body, that's going to slow me down. I'm going to be bleeding. I'm going to be hurt. I'm going to be injured. So I don't know. I'm like, I might want to kind of think about that again. But the machine, you send a machine out there, it don't make a difference if you got a minigun, the machine is coming. It don't make a difference if you got a flamethrower, a rocket launcher, the machine is coming. The machine is coming. It don't matter what you throw at him, he coming. He coming. Be aware because the machine is coming. The beast mode, try putting a flamethrower up against a beast. Try putting a rocket launcher up against a beast. A minigun up against a beast. You think that beast's gonna still be coming? Or will he be laying on the ground bleeding and injured, ready to die? Not a machine. So again, fellas, don't get me wrong. I'm not putting you down. I'm not insulting you. I'm just saying, hey, you know what? Think about it. Don't get me wrong. And I'm not saying beast mode is bad. No, beast mode ain't bad. Beast mode is good. Because if the beast mode helps you to execute your goals and to carry out your mission, by all means, follow your beast mode. But I'm just saying, when you put that machine online, it gives you way more power to do whatever you want because nothing can stop you and no one will stop you. Nothing and nobody will stand in your way. Because even if they want to, they couldn't because you are a fucking machine that feels no pain, that does not bleed, and you do not compromise. So decide. You want to go into beast mode with your life Or do you want to go into the machine with your life and become that Terminator, that element that doesn't bleed, that doesn't feel pain, that doesn't compromise, that does not have that ego, because it is programmed with orders already ready to be taken care of. You program your machine to do whatever you want it to do. The beast has an ego. It still compromises. It still says, I don't know. Take the beast on X-Men. He has a brain. He bleeds. He's human. Under that beast, he's human. You see, and that's the thing. Under the beast, behind the beast, there's a human. There's human tendencies. Behind the beast, there's human experiences there. There's human elements there. You bleed, just like humans. You get injured, just like humans. You feel pain, just like humans. But the machine, well, like I said, the machine doesn't have any human experiences. The machine doesn't have any human elements. It's all metal parts and wires. You know what I mean? You can program your machine to do whatever you want. And that's what they did in the movie Terminator. The Terminator was programmed to take out Sarah Connor or John Connor. And no matter what you threw at him, he still kept coming. He still kept coming. Even against liquid metal, he still kept coming. Now that's a powerful something right there. So, again, fellas, I'm not putting you down. I'm not saying beast mode is bad, because it is not. Like I said, if the beast mode helps you to execute, if it helps you to focus and do and get the job done and do what you need to get done, by all means, like I said, then do it. Go into your beast mode. But I'm going to go into my machine by putting my machine online. So I just want to put that in your mind, put that in your head. Think about it. Just gives you something else to think about. Expand your mind just a little bit more, And, so I want to talk about training your body and training your mind. And like I said before, on these social media platforms, I noticed that so many guys and so many women, both, they take pictures of their body. Mostly their abs or their legs or their arms, their shoulders, their upper half or their bottom half, either or, just their body in general. And they're showing off their body. They're proud of how their body looks. The hard work that they have put in, the effort, the energy that they have put in has paid off. And they're proud and they want to show it off to the world. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. I applaud you. By all means, keep doing that. But at the same time, does your mind look as good as your body? Can you answer that question? Why aren't you taking pictures of your mind? Why aren't you taking pictures of the things that you have been able to do with your mind and post that? Now, I don't see very many pictures of that, if I see any. So what about that? People train the body and not the mind? How is that? The mind has to give instruction or order to the body in order for it to follow it. The mind gives instruction to the body so that the body can follow the instruction and execute it. Because without your mind, believe it or not, for those of you who don't know, and it's actually sad because actually some of you don't know, but without your mind, your body is nothing. So basically, without your mind, your muscles mean absolutely nothing. The six-pack you have and the legs and the arms, the chest, the veins and all that don't mean nothing if you don't have a mind. So what about your mind? So why not train your mind? Because I ask, yeah, you have a nice body. You got the six-pack abs, you got the legs going, you got the arms, the chest, both women and men. You got everything going. You got the whole package. You got everything flowing. But what about your mind? What incredible things have you done with your mind? Can you name a few things, a few incredible things that you've done with your mind? Can you? Can you teleport? Are you telekinetic? Are you telepathic? Can you heal your body from cancer or tumors or any other known sickness or disease at will? Can you? Can you, since we're talking about muscles and the body, can you lift 10 tons with no problem? Now, of course, many of you would say, well, shit, motherfucker, can you? You know me, can you? And it's like, but see, that question goes back to what I said earlier, training, working up to it. We can do anything. But if you don't train your mind or body to do it, then you won't do it. So again, I ask, can you do these things? Can you lift 10 tons without breaking a sweat? Can you lift 10 tons, even 1 ton, even 2 tons without breaking a sweat with no problem? Can you do that? Can you travel at the speed of light? Can you? So if you answered no to any of those questions, like I said before, you're not as strong as you think you are. Physical strength means nothing in the spiritual realm. Physical strength means nothing if you're mentally incompetent. Physical strength cannot heal your cancer or your diabetes or your tumors or any sickness. They're just muscles, and that's all they are. That's all they are, and that's all they will ever be. Just muscle. That's it. You built muscle. Wow. Good for you. But what have you done for your mind? And that is another thing that guys are so quick, especially guys, maybe women too, but guys are so quick to say, well, look at that, man. He's only doing his top half. He's only working on his upper body. Well, why not his legs? Okay, that may be true. You're right. I give you that. Yeah, most guys just work on their top half. They don't even work on their bottom half. And then they look stupid. They got a big upper body and a small lower body. You're right. It looks stupid. So if they look stupid, if a guy who works out only works on his top half and not his bottom half, and he looks stupid, imagine how you look that you work on just your body and not your mind. Imagine how stupid you look when you come up against situations where you need your mind now, because your muscles can only do so much. So I can say the same thing for you. Man, look at this dude. Look, he's only training his body. He's not even training his mind. Yeah, he did his upper half. He did his lower half. Okay, that's cool. But what about his mind? He's not even training his mind. Man, he looks stupid. I can say the same thing about you. Because like I said, your muscles can only carry you so far. And I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with the term muscle head, where they basically say, oh, you're just all muscle and no brains. You're stupid. You're a dumbass. You're just all muscle, no brains. Seems to me that that same principle still applies. Most of you just train your body. You're just all muscle, but you no brains. And then, for the most part, these guys, not all guys, make sure you heard me clearly and correctly. Not all guys, but some guys. You adopt this perspective, well, I'm the shit. I'm God's gift to women. Because look at my body. Look how my body look. Yeah, I'm sexy. I look good. Yeah. Women love me. Women want me. Look at my body. Look how good I look. And no doubt, you look good, man. You're handsome. You got the muscles. You got the six pack. You looking good, man. I give you that. But you're a complete fucking asshole. Because you don't have a mind. Because you didn't train your mind. Can you actually hold a decent, intellectual, meaningful conversation? Can you talk about anything else besides sex? Can we sit down and talk about metaphysics, quantum mechanics, the spiritual realm, astral travel? Can we talk about that? Do you know anything about that? Do you know anything about the natural healing process of your body? Do you know about that? Do you know about your physical body not being real? You're not actually being here. Do you know anything about the matrix? Do you know anything about that? Can we sit down and have a conversation about that? But you can tell me about proteins and pills to take and leg workouts and bicep and chest workouts and all of this other good stuff. And it's not a bad thing. But all I'm saying is you train your body, but do you train your mind? And men and women, I'm not putting you down. I'm not insulting you. I'm just trying to get you to open up your mind just a little bit. Because it's okay to train your body. It's okay to have a nice body. Trust me, I work out too. I go to the gym. I lift weights. I do cardio training, endurance training, all of that. I do the same thing. I have a nice body, but guess what? My mind actually looks as good as my body instead of the other way around. I train my body, but I also train my mind. I'm not just some dumb lug with muscles. I'm a very highly intelligent man with both strength, physical strength, and mental strength. Physical capacity and mental capacity. Spiritual capacity, spiritual strength, emotional strength. Do you have any of those? Or do you just have physical strength? Do you have mental strength, emotional strength, spiritual strength? Because you training your body and not your mind, it's like only working the top half of your body and not your legs. That's the equivalent to that. So don't be so quick to point your finger and say, hey, look, he's only working on his top half and not his legs. Because while you're pointing at that guy saying that, I'm going to be pointing at you and say, hey, this guy's only training his body and not his mind. So that gives you something to really think about. Think about that. You train your body, good. Now train your mind. And what do I mean when I say train your mind? Let me tell you what I mean. Because each situation is different for each individual. Training your mind may be reading a book. Training your mind may be performing telekinesis. Training your mind may be learning how to memorize something. Regardless, as long as you're using your mind to expand it, to strengthen it, you're training your mind. Build your mental muscles. Now you've built your physical muscles. Now build your mental muscles. Build your spiritual muscles. Build your emotional muscles. Build those. You know what I mean? Your body looks good. I will definitely give you that. You got a nice body. You got the arms, you got the chest, you got the stomach, you got the legs. You got the whole thing cracking, man. Same thing for you women. You look beautiful. Your body looks good. And that's all good. I definitely congratulate you. But does your mind look as good as your body? Does your mind look as good as your body? So I'm just going to kind of jump on to something else now. And one thing I did want to share with you guys is eating habits. And for me, it would be cookies and eating habits. Now, those of you who know who I am, you guys laugh. Say, oh, Dave, man, this dude eats cookies and sweets like it's going out of style, man. But yet he doesn't look that way. And I've never been sick. And I do not age. And I have a very high tolerance for pain. But you know why? Because I've trained my mind. I've trained, keyword, trained my mind and not just my body. Now, I am 39 years according to this earth. into human consciousness. I'm 39 years old, getting ready to be 40. But let me share something with you. I've been eating sweets, and I mean packs and loads of sweets since I was 7, 8 years old. So I've been eating sweets like they've been going out of style since I was 8 years old. Listen to that. I've been eating sweets like they're going out of style since I've been 8 years old. And here I am now, 39, going on 40. Do you know I've never had diabetes? I don't get sick. Actually, you know what? Let me say this to you. Let me give you my interpretation of being sick or not being sick. When I say I don't get sick, this is basically what I mean, so that you all have a better understanding of exactly what I'm talking about. When I say I don't get sick, now the average person from the outside looking in will say, "Man, look, you are sick. Look, what do you call that? That's called being sick." And I will say to you, wrong. That's not being sick. That's called my body balancing itself out. And see, and that's the thing. That's where you and I would bump heads. Well, not necessarily bump heads, but that's where you and I would disagree. Because you would call it a sickness, and I would call it balance. So here it is. I've had sore throats. I've had a runny nose. I've had coughs. I've had these things that we call a flu or a cold. I've had these things, or symptoms, if you will. I've had these things. But for me, that's not there. See, those things are not labeled as being sick. For me, those are not symptoms of being sick. Those are not symptoms of having a cold or a flu or allergies. For me, that's called my body balancing itself out. Something is inside my body, and it's unbalanced. So in order to restore that balance, then my body needs to rid itself of these symptoms that are going on, that most of you would say, oh, those are symptoms of being sick or having a cold or a flu. For you, that may be what it is. For me, that's not. Because for me, when I have those symptoms, they only last maybe 20, 30 minutes, and then it's gone. They never last for a whole day. So that's what I mean when I say I don't get sick. Now, of course, many of you say, oh, man, come on, get out of here, man. Then what do you call that? If that's not being sick, what would you call that? And I just told you. I call it the balance. My body is unbalanced when I experience those things. But, I mean, here's the thing. I don't hate you. We shouldn't be enemies because I believe that and you don't. It's just that for me, having runny eyes or a runny nose, sore throat, coughing, high temperature or high fever, those are not symptoms of being being sick or having a flu. That's my body that's unbalanced, and it needs to restore the balance back. So now my body is ridding itself of this thing that's inside of me. It's not suppressing it, it's deleting it, getting rid of it permanently. So that's what I mean when I say I don't get sick, because I don't. And I have a very high tolerance for pain. And I don't age because I don't. Because here's the thing. When I say I don't age, I really don't age. Aging is a state of mind. Aging is exactly what you say it is. If you say, oh, I'm 40, okay, then you're 40 years old. Now, if you was to ask me, well, Dave, how old are you? I probably wouldn't give you an answer. Because I don't age. I don't see my physical body as far as a number. Because my physical body, first of all, isn't real. My physical body is only energy, vibration, and frequency. And maybe the physical part of it is just billions of cells. And that's another thing. Actually, let me touch on that real quick about the physical body. Personal trainers will tell you that your body is made up of proteins and fats and muscle tissue and flesh and bone, and that is wrong. I'm sorry, personal trainers. I'm not trying to insult you. I'm not putting you down. But I have to tell it exactly the way it is. Your body is not muscle tissue and protein and flesh and bone and fat. That is not what your body is made of. Your body is made up of billions of cells. which can be communicated with. You can communicate with your cells. They're living organisms. The cells of your body are living organisms that communicate. That's what your body is. And so therefore, when you adopt a particular habit for 31 days, sometimes even 30, or depending on the strength of your mind, not only does your reality, but your physical body adopts itself to your new belief. Because just like a snake, how a snake sheds old skin to bring out the new, same principle applies for the human body, the physical body, that is frequency, vibration, and energy. We shed old skin to put on the new. So technically, I am not 39 years old. And I'm not going to do the math to demonstrate that to you or to give you the real answer. But basically, I'm telling you, I am not really 30 technically. Metaphorically speaking, or scientifically speaking, I am not 39 years old. That is a number imposed upon me from collective consciousness that says, hey, you've been on this earth this many years, you were born this day, this year, from this point to this point, that makes you this. Well, I don't believe in that. I don't buy into collective consciousness. Some things I do, some things I don't. But for the most part, like I said, personal trainers, stop telling people that the body is made up of proteins and fats and flesh and bone and tissue. It's not. And you don't need to know anything about metaphysics or quantum mechanics to know that. Just do a little bit of research and find out for yourself. You can program your cells. And since your body is made up of billions of cells, you can program your cells. Now, I know that sounds crazy to the average person. And you're probably saying, what the hell are you talking about? Seriously, what the fuck are you talking about, Dave? Cells? What is that? First of all, do you even know what cells are? Do you know what cells are? If you don't, I suggest you go and do some homework and find out what cells are. But the body is made up of billions of cells that are living organisms that communicate. So, and because of that fact, that is one of the main reasons why some people have been able to do what we call supernatural things or miraculous things that maybe the average person would say, wow, how the hell did you do that? That's impossible. How did you do that? How were you able to even do anything like that? Because their body is made up of billions of cells that are living organisms that communicate. And whether you believe it or not, there are some people who actually believe that. But it does not make you a bad person if you do not. And that's why I said in the beginning of this lecture, when I first started talking, I said, I don't want you to believe anything I'm telling you, because I don't. I want you to go out and find out for yourself. I want you to do your own homework, your own research, conduct your own experiments and find out for yourself. Don't believe anything I'm telling you. Go find out for yourself. Because honestly, I could be telling you a bunch of bullshit for all you know. Seriously. And so because of that, that's why I tell you, don't believe nothing I'm telling you. Go find out for yourself. Because that's what I did. I did my own research. I did my own homework. I became a scientist and conducted my own experiments and found out, like, oh, so this is what happens. Oh, so that's what that means. Oh, okay. Now that makes sense. That's all I did. Not to mention that, well, I won't go into that. But anyway, just like I said, do your own homework. Conduct your own experiments. Do some research and find out. Don't believe nothing I'm telling you. Because like I said, I could be blowing smoke up your ass for all you know. So go find out for yourself. So, anyway, like I said, I think I'm just going to talk about this last thing here, which is about being on the frequency. And what do I mean when I say on the frequency, being on the frequency? To give a very basic and simple definition, being on the frequency, if you wanted to listen, it's like the radio station. Radio stations are what we call frequencies. So if you wanted to listen to maybe the hip hop station, which I believe it may have changed by now, but one that I do remember was like, I think 92.3 The Beat or Power 106, something like that. So if you wanted to hear hip hop music, then you would tune in to the frequency of 92.3 or Power 106, where you could hear your old school hip hop or your new hip hop music being played. But if you wanted to hear classical music, you would have to tune in to the classical station, which is 91.5. And on the frequency of 91.5, you would not hear or experience old school hip hop music, because old school hip hop music is not on the frequency of 91.5, if that makes sense to you. So basically, the reason why I'm bringing this up is that some people have never experienced certain things in this existence. Why? Because they're not on the frequency. They're not on that particular frequency. And for myself, I can honestly say that I have never experienced racism. And I'm sure there's a lot of people who have never experienced it, but yet there's also a lot of people who have. But I'll tell you the reason why I've never experienced racism in my 39 years of existing is because I'm not on that frequency. I don't care about racism and about cops and about what other people are doing or what they said. I don't care. That's why I don't experience it. Because I don't pay attention to it. I don't give light to it. I don't nourish those elements. I don't care. So therefore, I've never experienced racism. I've never had a negative run-in with cops. And I've been pulled over before, but I've never had a negative run-in with police. Why? Because I'm just not on that frequency. I'm on a higher frequency. And so therefore, I won't experience racism because I'm not on that frequency. Just like I can't hear hip hop music on a classical station. I can't listen to music being played. I can't listen to hip hop music on Power 106 and then hear it again on 91.5. I won't be able to hear it on that station because that's a different frequency. I'm on a different frequency. So therefore, I will never experience racism or any other thing. Because why? I'm just not on that frequency. It's not in my auric field. Yes, it happens, but I haven't experienced it. It doesn't happen to me. You know, just like you have some people in the world that have never experienced poverty. Why? Because they're not on that frequency. And not everyone was born with a quote unquote silver spoon in their mouth. They just have never experienced poverty because they're not on that frequency. And I know a lot of you have said, oh, well, they're lucky. Or maybe they were born with a silver spoon in their mouth. Their parents were rich. Or, you know, they just have good luck. No such thing. And you know what? That's actually one thing I actually hate that people would say. Stop saying luck. There is no luck. Nothing happens by luck. Nothing happens by chance. There is no coincidences. It doesn't exist. A person doesn't experience something good because of luck. Nothing good happens to a person because of luck. Oh man, he got lucky. No, he didn't get lucky. She didn't get lucky. They're just on that frequency. That's why they're experiencing it, because they're on that frequency. You take a person who's won the lottery. Well, they were on that frequency. It wasn't because they were lucky. They were on that frequency. Take a person who has experienced racism. They were on that frequency. Now, I know that's something kind of difficult to wrap your head around what I just said. How does a person be on the frequency to experience racism? Because of your dominant thoughts. because of your subconscious mind. What are you thinking about throughout your 24-hour day, throughout your 8-hour day? What are your dominant thoughts? What are you paying attention to? What are you exposing? What are you consistently exposing yourself to? Because those do play a role in your existence. If I constantly expose myself to nothing but wealth and abundance and richness and love and mercy and prosperity, if I did nothing but consistently every single day for an hour, 2 hours or more, and expose myself to those type of things, guess what? I'm going to be on the frequency of those type of things. I'm going to have those type of experiences. But if I'm watching the news, which plays nothing but negative shit, if I'm listening to what everybody else says and what they think, if I'm following what everybody else says and what they think, if I'm doing what other people think and what they say, if I'm always seeing negativity around me, no, actually, let me take that back. If I'm consciously deciding to pay attention to the negativity around me, then that's exactly what I am going to experience. Because you can take two people that's living in the ghetto, and one of them may say, man, I'm having the best time of my life. I have nothing but magical experiences. All I experience is magical moments and prosperity and abundance. And hey, you know what? I'm doing good in my life. My life is good. It couldn't be better. And then you have another person say, shit, all I see is drugs and gangs and poor people and poverty and all these bad things happening, and my house this and my house that and my street this, and I'm seeing violence and all these bad things. Well, because you're deciding, you are consciously choosing to see those things. I grew up in a bad neighborhood, believe it or not. I grew up in the heart of gang banging and drugs being sold. But I am on a higher frequency because it's what I consciously decided to pay attention to. Now, did you hear me say that? I grew up around gangs. I grew up around drug dealers and drugs being sold. I grew up around that stuff. I grew up in South Central Los Angeles, in the heart of it when it was really bad. But like I said, I decided what I wanted to pay attention to, not the other way around. I saw these things. I saw the drugs, I saw the gangs. But like I said, the most important element that took place in my life is that I decided what I wanted to pay attention to. And I didn't pay attention to drugs and gangs and a poverty lifestyle. I didn't pay attention to that. I paid attention to things that mattered to me in some aspects. Not all, but some aspects. I'm not perfect. We all have our moments. And that's another thing. Let me share this with everyone. We all have our moments. There is no such thing as I live a perfect life and nothing bad ever happens. That's a lie. Things are going to happen that you don't like. But the one important thing to remember is, okay, you know what? That happened. I didn't like that. Move on. But people don't do that. You know what happens when things happen to people that they don't like? They linger in it. They spend all their time and effort and energy talking about it and lingering in it. Oh man, this happened. Why did that happen? Why she say that, man? Why he say that? Why this? You know, I'm tired of this stuff keep happening. And this stuff happens all the time. And then really? And then you wonder why your life is the way it is. Because you are literally putting so much time and energy and effort to this shit that don't matter. Trust me, don't get me wrong. I understand how you feel. I've had lots of things happen to me that I didn't like. But you know what? I've learned to be like, hey, you know what? I didn't like that. But oh well, move on. Because for me, for every negative thing that happened that I didn't like, there's a million different positive things that happen that I do like. And I pay attention to that. I don't pay attention to the bad things that happen. I don't care about the bad things that happen to me. I care about the magical moments that's been happening to me. Like, yeah, you know what? I remember when this happened. You know, like my mother, let me tell you something. My biological mother said to me, You're nothing but a disappointment. I wish you were never born. You make me sick. For a long time, it took me a while to get over that until I realized my power. Because my power has always been there. I just start to realize it. I just start to really see it. I'm like, oh, shit. I can do this and I can do that. Okay. So then when that voice came up in my head, hey, remember when your mom said this? I was like, yeah, I remember that. But do you remember when I was walking down the street and I had this magical moment happen to me? I remember when I kept seeing 777. I remember when I kept seeing 555. I remember when my characters fell out the sky and was talking to me. I remember that. And that's how it goes for me. Because that voice will come up and say, hey, Dave. Hey, man, you remember when your mom said this? And I'm like, yeah, I remember that. But you know what? I also remember that time when I was walking down the street in Rancho Cucamonga and I kept seeing all these spirits fall out the sky and it was talking to me. I was like, man, that's what I'm talking about. I remember that. I decide to pay attention to that. And here's the thing. You are recalling something that you think may have happened. Because if you are living right now in this particular moment, and let's say something happened to you maybe 10 years ago that you didn't like. First of all, how do you know that even happened? Because you are recalling something something that happened in your past right now. How do you know that those memories weren't implanted into your psyche? How do you know that? First of all, how do you even know that those things even took place? Again, I know that's something very difficult to wrap your head around, but seriously, open your mind just a little bit and think about what I just said. Think about the things that happened to you that you didn't like and be like, damn, you know what? Did that really happen? Think about it. Ask yourself, did those things actually happen? You know what I mean? Because, and I'll elaborate on this particular topic in another video, but listen, it's like this. What you currently are remembering or what you are recalling does not necessarily mean that it happened. There is technology that's able to implant thoughts into your mind. You have technology that is utilized to implant memories into your mind. So you have to understand that you may be having memories of things that never even happened. You just think they happened because you're remembering them. Just like on your day-to-day, on your average day, about 6,000 thoughts run through your head every second. And did you know that most of them thoughts are not even your own? You're tapping into someone else's thinking. But you think it's your thinking because you're thinking about it, or it's in your mind as you think. You know, like, have you ever had a thought and you was like, now why would I be thinking about that? Or why am I thinking that? You know why? Because it wasn't your thought. You tapped into a frequency. You tapped into someone else's frequency, or you tapped into a frequency of someone thinking about something particular. You have to understand, you process 6,000 thoughts a second. Most of which of those thoughts are not even yours. You're tapped into someone else's thinking. And that's when you have, damn, why am I thinking about that? How come I thought about that? Why am I thinking about that? Because most of the thoughts that run through your mind are not even yours. But that's just something to think about, just to keep in mind. Open your mind just a little bit. Most of the thoughts that you think aren't even yours. They're not yours. So being on the frequency. Be on the frequency of the things that you want. Yes, that is easier said than done. But if you wanted to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger, can you do it overnight? No. You have to train up to that point. You build up to that point. And that's all it is. But at the same time, oh, you know what? Since I'm thinking about it, let me share this with you, personal trainers and people who work out and exercise, both men and women. Let me share this with you. Now, it has been to my understanding that not all, but some personal trainers have informed some of their clients that it will take you 6 months to a year to get the desired results that you want. I don't necessarily agree with that. I actually disagree with that. I disagree with that. Now, I'm not saying that is a bad thing, because if you feel it necessary to take 6 months to a year to get the results that you're looking for, if you feel that's necessary, if that's what you need, then by all means, take that step, and then you do that. But for me, I think 6 months to a year, wow, that's too long. I have to wait 6 months to a year for something I want like right now concerning my body? But what if I want the results faster? Well, I'll say this. I think the reason being why personal trainers say this, and I could be wrong, but I'm just gonna jump out there and say it. I think the reason being that personal trainers tell people, oh, it's going to take you about 6 months to a year. Not to every client. Now, they don't say that to every client, but they do say it to some. And the reason why I think they say that is because I think they realize and they know that the particular client that they are training is not going to be working every single day consecutively towards the very thing that they're trying to get. Basically, they're not going to exercise every single day. Now, I could be wrong, but I think that may be what it is. They may not be obsessed with losing weight or be obsessed with getting the results that they want. And for a lot of people want to lose weight, and that's fine. But understand this, it doesn't make a difference how overweight you are. The only thing that matters is your perspective. The only thing that matters is what you believe it to be. The only deciding factor is what you declare it's going to be. If you declare it's going to take you 6 months to a year, then it's going to take you six months to a year. If you declare I'm going to get results in 1 month or 1 week or 2 weeks, then that's exactly what it's going to be. And it doesn't matter how overweight you think you are. Your results solely depend on your perspective and what you believe. Because how do you live your life? You live your life based on what you believe. So if you believe 6 months to a year, then 6 months to a year is what it is. If you believe 1 month, then 1 month is what it is. If you believe 2 months is what it is, then that's what it is. If you believe 2 days or 1 week or 3 weeks, then that's what it is. And there you have it. It goes back down to you. What do you really want? What do you really believe? How do you want your life to really be? What do you want? And are you willing to go the extra mile? Are you willing to be obsessed? Are you willing to step out of your comfort zone? How bad do you want it? Whether it's to lose weight or to get the body that you've always dreamed of, how bad do you want it? And so, like I said, and that's why it is so imperative that you train your mind as well. Yeah, you train your body and that's fine, but train your mind. Expose yourself to other types of information. You don't need to convert yourself. You don't even need to believe anything. But just expose yourself to information that could possibly help you. Expose yourself to information that you've never even thought about. Expose yourself to other possibilities. Consider other things. Expose your mind. Expose yourself to other possibilities. So, again, 6 months to a year is only if you decide that's what you need. Because if you work every single day towards the very thing that you want, and I mean every single day, not skipping a day, I mean every single day, I mean literally obsessed with whatever it is that you want. You have to be obsessed with it. You have to want it more than you want anything else. You have to become the very thing that you want. Become obsessed with it. And I guarantee you, it won't take you 6 months to a year. But what do you believe? What do you really believe? Because you do have men and women, believe it or not, that go to the gym and they don't have a set goal in mind. All they know is like, okay, well, I was told if I work out, I'm going to get results. So I'm just going to do something. And then when they work out and they don't get the results, they're like, see, this shit don't work. And that's why for the most part, some people be like, well, I don't like the gym. I don't like to exercise. Why? Because I don't get no results. I'm not getting the type of results that I'm looking for. So I don't need the gym. I don't need to go. I'm okay. I'll be fine. I'll just eat healthy. That's all. Okay. Well, if that works for you, that's fine. If that's what you believe, that's fine. And that's how that should be. If a person says that, you should be like, okay, are you willing to be open to anything else? Or they say, no, I don't want to try anything else. I'm fine with this. Okay, then walk away. Now, there's nothing wrong with being a little persistent and be like, hey, you know what? I understand. Hey, you said you don't want to try nothing else. You don't want to do anything else. Okay, I get it. But hey, you know what? I really see potential in you. I know that you can do better. I know you can do great with it. Why don't you try, this or try that? And if they still say no, be like, okay, well, you know what? I understand. Thank you for your time. Walk away. Because you have to understand, who are we? Even though we do co-create, who are we to interfere with someone else's reality? Who are we to dictate how someone else's reality is going to go? Does that make sense? Who are you to dictate someone else's reality? Live your own goddamn reality. Live your life according to how you see fit. Do the things that you want to do. Don't worry about nobody else. Do what you want. Live how you want to live. And don't worry about no one else. And that's a huge problem. And people, period. Everybody's so quick to say, well, I'm right and you're wrong. I'm doing it the right way. You're doing it the wrong way. No. If a person believes that what they're doing is right, then let them be. Because in their reality, they are right. As harsh and as stupid and as weird and as even confusing as it may sound in some situations, if a person is doing something, whether good or bad, and they believe what they're doing is right, they're absolutely right. They are absolutely right. Because in their reality, they think, well, hey, this is right. I'm doing it the right way. So for them, they're right. I won't get into too much detail about that, but basically, in a person's reality, if they have consciously decided to do something and they think that it's right, then it is right. Because in your reality, there is no right or wrong. It's only what you declare it to be. Your reality is basically whatever you say it is. In your reality, it's whatever you say it is. There is no wrong or right in your reality. Your reality is exactly what you say it is. And if you say, well, hey, I'm going to be fat for the rest of my life and, I can't get the results that I desire because I'm a lost cause and I'll never make it, I'm okay with that. If you believe that, you're absolutely right. Now, can somebody say, hey, you know what? Hey, I'm willing to help you. And if you're not receptive to that help, then your life is going to be exactly what you declared it to be. But like I said, who are we to dictate someone else's reality? Stay on your own frequency. And if you want to experience certain things in your life, then be on the frequency of the very thing that you want. And I'm understanding that a lot of the things that people want are on a higher frequency. So in order to experience these things, you must be on that higher frequency. You cannot be on a lower frequency and experience high frequency shit. It won't happen. Just like you cannot be in a negative space to experience positive shit. You have to be in a positive space to experience positive shit. If you are in poverty, you cannot have the mind state of poverty. You need to have the mind state of prosperity. If you want that, that's high frequency. And like I said, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again, life is not difficult. Life is not complicated. Life is exactly what you declare it to be. Yes, we all have our moments. But the one thing to remember is, well, what are you paying attention to? If you are stressing, if you are worried, if your life is complicated, if it is hard, if you are having problems, if you are struggling, then what are you paying attention to? Because believe it or not, you're creating your own misery by the things you pay attention to. Let me say that again. You're creating your own misery by the things you're paying attention to. Maybe if I should say that one more time. You're creating your own misery by the things you are paying attention to. So what are you paying attention to? If you are experiencing nothing but struggle and poverty and bad things in your life, then what are you paying attention to? What are you paying attention to? Decide what you want for your life. Be on the frequency of the things that you want. Again, become obsessed with the very thing that you want. Become the very thing that you want. And it doesn't matter what people say, what they think, what they do. It don't matter. Develop tunnel vision where you don't see anything else but your goal. That's the only thing you should be looking at. Keep your eyes on the prize, as they would say. Keep your eyes focused on the very thing that you want, and nothing else matters. Because when you do that, the universe starts to shift things around to adopt to your mindset. Okay, he's been doing this, he's been doing that. Okay, let's move this out the way. Let's move this. Let's do that. Let's do this. You are a god. Believe it or not, you are gods and goddesses, meaning to say you are fucking powerful. And you don't even realize it. You are powerful. You are gods and goddesses. You are powerful. Very, very, very powerful. You can do anything you want. Because you are a spirit having a human being experience. You are not human. You are a spirit inside of a human body. Let's understand that. You are not a human being. You are a spirit inside of a human body. You are spirit. Your true nature is spirit. And you're just having a human being experience. So therefore, because you are a spirit inside of a human being, you can still do a lot of miraculous things. You're still powerful. And that's one thing I've heard a lot is people say, well, I want to be powerful. No, I'm sorry. You cannot become powerful. I'm so sorry to tell you, but you cannot become powerful. You know why? Because you're already powerful. You're already powerful. You cannot become powerful because you're already powerful. It's just like me saying, I want to be black. People are like, well, Dave, dude, you are black. I'm like, no, I want to be black. Like, Dave, dude, you are black. Like, no, I want to be black. And like, Dave, look in the mirror, dude. Like, seriously, dog, you are black. So I can't become something that I already am, basically is what I'm saying. You can't become powerful because you're already powerful. Is what I'm saying. For those of you who work out and want to build the muscle and build the body that you want, the six pack abs are already there. The muscles are already there. You just need to build them. And if personal trainers didn't tell you that, they should tell you that, because that's actually a given. Anybody should know that. You don't get six-pack abs. The six-pack abs are already there. You don't get muscle. The muscle is already there. You just build it up. Just like when it comes to sickness and health and all these diseases, you don't get cancer because the cancer gene already exists in your body. Tumors and diabetes, these things already exist in your body. You know, let me talk a little bit about that, about cancer. And Captain Universe shared this with me. We were talking about cancer and how cancer awareness is actually a thing that's activating the cancer gene in people's body, because you actually don't get cancer. You activate it when you shine light on it, when you believe in it. And what does that mean? When you say, well, my parents had cancer, I'm going to have it too. It's hereditary. No, it's not. Cancer is not hereditary. Whether you choose to disagree with me or agree with me, cancer and diabetes, those things are not hereditary. No, they are not. No, they are not. No, they are not. But let me say this. If in your reality, because I tend to forget that, in your reality, if that's what you believe, if you believe cancer or diabetes is hereditary, if you believe that in your reality, then you're right. It is hereditary. So I'll say that. I'll go back on what I just said. If you believe in your reality that cancer or diabetes is hereditary, you're right. It is hereditary. You're absolutely right. It is. But in my reality, it's not. But like I said, a person does not get cancer because the cancer gene already exists within your body. A person does not get tumors. Tumors already exist in your body. A person does not get diabetes. Diabetes already exists within your body. You activate them when you shine light on them, when you declare them, or when you're constantly being bombarded or exposed to things like cancer awareness. Oh, cancer awareness this, cancer awareness month, cancer this. If you go here, cancer this. If you go here, cancer may cause this. And what about this? Cancer, and then cancer this, and then cancer that. You're constantly being bombarded and exposed to cancer. So what eventually happens? You're like, oh my God, okay, I think I'm going to get cancer now because I keep seeing it and I keep hearing about it. And, I think my parents may have had it. And, my neighbor down the street, he had cancer. So, I hope I don't get cancer. I need to watch what I eat because I don't want to get, really? Really? My goodness, people, wake up. My goodness, people, wake up. Seriously, wake up. Open your mind. Expand your consciousness. Because everything in existence wants your attention. So you decide what are you going to pay attention to. Decide what you're going to pay attention to. Decide what you are going to pay attention to. Because everything in existence wants your attention. No one gets cancer. No one gets diabetes. No one gets tumors. These things already exist in your body. No one gets sick. These things are activated within your body by belief. Listen to that. These sicknesses, these diseases, you don't get these things. These are not something that you get. These things already exist within your body. But you activate them with your belief by giving them light, by nourishing them, by shining light on them. Because if you notice, think about cancer awareness. Doctors or hospitals or medicines, they don't inject cancer into your body. You've already had cancer. Cancer has already been in your body. Like I said, you activate it by believing in it. So it's like, they don't need to inject your body with anything because they know that everything that The things that they want to turn on in your body, all they have to do is build awareness about it. You know what? Hey, you know what? Since everybody has cancer in their body, let's spread awareness about cancer. Start giving people cancer. Why do you think that the pharmaceutical company is making billions of dollars? Why do you think hospitals and doctors, that's big business? Seriously, think about it. Why do you think when you go to the doctor sometimes and they keep you in there for hours? Not in all cases, but in some cases. Because they are literally draining the lifeblood out of your insurance policy. Think about that. Doctors and hospitals, big business. The church, big business. Religion, big business. Education, big business. Tobacco companies, big business. Alcohol, big business. Think about these things. Seriously. Not to really get into conspiracy theories, but seriously, think about these things. Think about cigarettes, tobacco. Now, you know tobacco kills you, but it's big business. Try to make a protest or try to pass a law to get rid of tobacco, and you may just disappear. You know why? Look at it like this. Take a man, his wife, and his 2 kids. And he has a job and he works hard for his money. He works hard to take care of his family. He works hard to provide for his family. Now, what do you think that man is going to do when you threaten the well-being of his family? When you threaten his livelihood? What do you think he's going to do? He's going to fight to protect it. What do you think a man is going to do when you threaten to take money out of his pocket? He go, hey, wait a minute. Hey, now wait a minute, goddammit. I work hard for my money. And I use this money to protect my family and to make sure they're well taken care of. Same thing with tobacco industries. Same thing with alcohol industries. Same thing with doctors and hospitals and cancer awareness. That's big business. It's like taking money out of their pocket. Hey, wait a minute, goddammit. Now I'm making a lot of money off these people. I've made billions of dollars off of cancer awareness. I've made billions of dollars off tobacco. I've made billions of dollars off the alcohol. Hey, you taking money out of my pocket now. I don't like that. Hey, get rid of him. He's saying too much. He's doing too much. Get rid of him. He's taking money out of our pocket. And that happens. And they will do that to you. When I say they, it can be anybody. Government, politicians, anybody. Because when you threaten the livelihood of anybody, they're going to fight for it. And that's just common sense. When you threaten the livelihood of anyone, they're going to fight to protect it. Same thing with the government. Same thing with, like I said, tobacco companies, alcohol companies, cancer awareness, hospitals, pharmaceutical. When you start taking money out their pocket, now you're treading on dangerous ground. And they're not going to have that. They're not going to be too happy about that. So honestly, instead of going through all of that trouble, trying to do all of that, just live in your own reality. Just dictate your own reality. So therefore, you don't need cigarettes and tobacco. You don't need cigarettes and alcohol and all this stuff in hospitals. You don't need that. Because you are powerful all by yourself. You are powerful all by yourself. You don't need any of those things. How do I know? How can I prove that? Why don't you go in some of these foreign countries on the eastern side of civilization where they don't have hospitals and doctors and life-threatening medications, where people don't get sick? Why don't you go over there and see how they live over there and find out why they are isolated from the rest of the world? Because they don't agree with your particular methods of how you live. I am the billionaire idealist. Life is exactly what you dictate it to be. Life is exactly what you declare it to be. You are powerful. Declare your greatness. Understand how powerful you really are. And if you want something, how bad do you want it? Don't complain. Don't make excuses. If you want something, ask yourself, I want something. Now, how bad do you want it? What are you willing to do? I am the billionaire idealist. Good day.